Welcome to our Digitized World Talks. Today we start with the title, Paradoxical World of Networks. A book that is concerned about digitization, networks, and ethical impacts on society. More than 2 decades ago, global networks promised great freedom for individual and economic developments and set out to revolutionize the world of communication and information. A critical look at developments since then, however, makes one suspect that a trend has emerged that paradoxically turns the promised freedoms into captivity. The world of communication and information has changed significantly and is on a continuing struggle for credibility. This book identifies principles and reasons that reinforce this view, as well as possible approaches to turn the interconnectedness of the world into a positive force, intended as a contribution to the discourse to lead us into the future. Many philosophical considerations, questions, problems that have been posited and problems that have accompanied people on their way for thousands of years are also applicable to the modern world. The rapidly changing world meets the human being, who has always asked the same questions. Let's start.
The interconnectedness of the world, digitization and globalization accelerate socially, economically and politically relevant developments to an extent that elicits the term disruption from many commentators. As a rule, a disruption is seen as a calamity that changes circumstances massively and instantaneously, for instance a natural disaster. Neither digitization nor globalization are natural, and they are certainly not catastrophes, but arise from human ideas and intentions. These are changes brought about by human beings that challenge our way of thinking. This creates new structures, relationships, and possible ways of looking at things. Human beings as observers of relationships and effects recognize decisive structures as networks, and with this view we increase the complexity of living environments to an exponential degree. This in turn calls for simplification. Simplification, which expresses itself in conservative tendencies in political and nation-state context, without considering that in such complex situations novel things only can emerge through cooperation. This has to do with our way of thinking, because we have always been accustomed to making decisions on the basis of either or. Thus, even in the context of networks, digitization and innovation, there are only two, generally accepted, positions. Networks, both digital and global, are either particularly good and at the same time the only possible solution for all problems, or they are seen as the basis for dystopian fantasies and therefore viewed in an exclusively negatively context. Practical experience as well as theoretical perceptions of a globalized and digitized network society, however, demand an approach that seeks solutions contextually and cooperatively, under the consideration of, as well as. And this way, as an analog view of our demonstrably analog world. This book is an attempt to accomplish these aims.
Thanks for listening. See you next week, when we continue with a digital manifesto.